G'day teacher geeks. So I want to talk about slavery, and are we teaching it in the best way? So usually when we talk about slavery and we teach slavery, when I was a history teacher and a social studies teacher, we look at, well, think about, when you think slavery, what do you think about? We think about the American slavery, right, colonial history, and African slaves into America. But if we just teach one topic in depth like that, do we get the big picture? Do we allow students to draw comparisons across examples to abstract some sort of deeper conceptual understanding? Now, we can do that within the topic of, say, North American slavery, but I think there's a better way to teach it. What if we did a unit on slavery for social studies, history? It could even be economics. It could be a interdisciplinary unit on the history of slavery, but we look at the complete history of slavery. And so you could look at examples from the Middle East. You could look at examples in Africa. You could look at examples in North America, the slave trades in the Middle East. You could look at my home country of New Zealand, right? The Māori tribes enslaving one another. You look at your own country, the history of slavery within any country. It's probably going to have some sort of example of slavery. And then we can also look at modern slavery, okay? Trafficking, human trafficking. And then perhaps even look at, say, sweatshops and ask the question, well, is this slavery, right? We get to the end of the unit and we've got all these examples. We can say, well, what is slavery really? How do we define it? Now, I think this is way more valuable for a number of reasons. Firstly, like I said, you'll be able to get students to look at the comparisons across cultures and different time periods and find the similarities to figure out a deeper conceptual understanding, which would be something like, okay, slavery has happened throughout history, so there might be something innate within us that feels like we have the right to enslave other people, that we have the right, humans can capture, enslave, indenture other people to do work for them. And I think that's really powerful, because students now won't just be thinking, well, that's something that they did, that group was evil, that was them. It's more about going, oh, this could be something within me, that I might have the ability to look at someone as less than me, as being an other. And now here, for psychology teachers, might be thinking, oh, social identity theory, right? And so this is where we could bring in a little bit of psychology. And what you'll find, I'm sure, across all of those historical examples of slavery is people don't enslave their own people. They enslave the others, the outgroup, okay? And so that becomes really powerful, because that is a human tendency, right? To form tribes, to form groups, and to view the others as less than and different. And so I feel like this could be a really powerful unit, and to help students, again, not just compartmentalize as slavery that happened before, but as something that is happening around the world today, and something that all of us could be potential contributors to this, to any system that holds people against their will to do certain work. Again, I bring it back to, say, sweatshops. Now, I really think it's important, though, that this can't just be a slavery is bad, sweatshops is bad, right? Getting other people to do work for us is bad, and then that goes down the line of capitalism is bad, I guess. We have to look at both sides of it. And so, okay, sweatshops, for example, if we're looking in the modern realm, is there a positive side to that? Even look at slavery. Are there benefits to that? There had to be benefits to it, right? That's why it existed. So always, I think it's really important to avoid indoctrination. We have to be inviting the arguments from the other side, as weak as they may be, right? And as contentious as they may be. We always want to look at things from both sides. Now, I'm never saying we're going to defend slavery, but you're going to teach in the black and white, but then we have to get into the nuance, right? And look at it from both angles. So then kids can make an objective decision. Do I want to buy a smartphone that's being built in a third world country? Because, okay, I might be supporting a sweatshop, but what would those people be doing if they weren't working in the sweatshop? There's some economists that would argue that those conditions are important for them, that culture, to elevate their living standard to a higher level. So even go back into the Industrial Revolution and child laborers, right? I mean, that is a horrible thing to go through. We don't want to have child workers, but was it necessary in order for the work, for that culture to raise above a certain standard of living? Now, I don't have the answers to these questions because I clearly haven't researched it enough. And if you are sitting there thinking, Trav, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, yeah, that's quite right. I'm looking for someone else to write this unit. I'm looking for another social studies history teacher, or anyone really, who thinks that this unit, a complete history of slavery, with maybe 5 to 8 different historical examples to make up the 5 or 8 topics getting into modern slavery, And if you like the thematic model, the chase outcomes, the 3 levels of learning, if you've been watching all my videos, if you've seen my other resources, if you like how we do things at Thematic Education, I'd like you to create that unit. And if you're still watching to this point in the video, hopefully you are keen, or at least maybe thinking about the idea, because that's how I want to expand thematic education, and that's how I want to help other teachers around the world, because I can't do all the heavy lifting myself. So I'm not ready to expand, I'm not ready to get other people on board, but that's exactly why I want to do it. You know, action precedes motivation and inspiration, and so I've learned, if you want to do something, just do it and figure it out later. So I'm offering an open invitation here to any and all teachers who would like this idea of a complete history of slavery that looks at all those examples. If you'd like to write the textbook and write the materials for that, let me know. Okay, get in touch. Also, I'm going to warn you, this stuff ain't easy. Writing these materials, I would say for one lesson's content of just the textbook, expect between 8 to 12 hours of work minimum. It takes a lot of research and a lot of time to prepare that. And then for all the accompanying materials, probably another 4 to 8 hours. This would be a 1 to 2 year project to complete this. So again, if you're still watching this and you're entertaining the idea of maybe becoming a contributor and writing this unit, it's an open invitation. And the first person to get it done and to submit it and for me to go, hey, that looks really awesome, brilliant. But it would be a 1 to 2 year project. Just bear that in mind, right? This isn't an easy task. Now, how would it work? Okay, so you write the unit, you write the content, submit it to us, and then we'll go through the copy editing stage, and we can design it, and then we'll post it up on our store, and then we'll market it and advertise it, and then you will earn royalties from that, right? 50% on all the digital sales. Now I get into the nitty gritty stuff here, because before you go off and want to think about this, right, you need to know the numbers. Anyway, you'll see more of these videos where I'm always coming up with really cool unit ideas, that I think are really cool, because I'm an arrogant, biased git. But I think, man, wouldn't that be... if I was a history teacher, I would love to teach the history of slavery, the complete history of slavery, and then also have some time at the end maybe where it leads into a research project where students can take one of those historical examples and research it further. We could have a range of different questions that students could research further, or even look at it within your own cultural context, slavery within your cultural context, and students can investigate and research that. All right, if you're interested, get in touch. Otherwise, even if I would like to hear your thoughts, would that be a good way to teach slavery, do you think? All right, cheers.